Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Sport Scene by NGTV. I guess we'll start with the Champions League.
Yeah.
So Tuesday's games. Man City beat Dortmund by 2-1. I thought Dortmund were pretty decent.
Yeah, it was quite a decent game, wasn't it, in the end?
Yeah, better than I thought it would be anyway. No City could have probably put the game to bed and scored possibly 4 goals at least. But Dortmund, I thought Jude Bellingham was very good actually, considering he's only 17 as well.
Yeah, I thought it was quite unfortunate not to get that goal as well, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a bit of a keepers always get extra protection, don't they?
Yeah.
Even when they come charging out a goal, they always do.
And kick the player and hurt themselves.
Yeah, it's, as I say, I'm surprised. It fucked them over. If he didn't blow the whistle and the ball went in,
VAR could have overturned it.
VAR could have looked at it then, but because he blew his whistle before the ball crossed over, like, there's absolutely nothing VAR could do.
Yeah.
I thought the referee had a stinker anyway. I thought the penalty that he gave for City, that was dreadful.
Yeah.
He kind of, I think he gave a foul for a high boot, but Emre Can's boot was as high as Rodri's knee. He
Get it up there then.
Yeah, he kind of like grazed his knee, but Rodri went down holding his face, which
Football, modern day football player.
Yeah, but the referee gave a penalty then, and obviously VAR told him to go and have a look, and then he overruled the decision. But we did well. We kind of kept Haaland quite quiet. I know he set up the goal. I'll tell you, he had a chance. He showed his strength. Like we know how good like Ruben Diaz has been in like the Premier League.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely bossing it. I think the one just after half time it was, and Dortmund played the ball through, and Haaland was running in on goal like 1-on-1 with Ruben Diaz, and he literally just fucking shoved him out of the way.
Be gone, peasant.
He's so strong. He literally just went like with ease though. He just like went like with Diaz, just went flying.
Yeah.
But Edison come out quite quick and obviously score. But yeah, that was probably the only real like chance that he had.
Yeah.
So it pretty went how I said it would go really. Like we'd keep a lot of the ball, so I couldn't see them creating a lot of chances. But actually we did get away with it really, scoring in like the 90th minute. But
nice in his face.
I think when the equaliser went in at the 84th minute, I just thought. I was like, here we go again, fucking quarterfinals.
I mean, you even messaged me and said, "Oh, for God's sake, we've fucked it again." So
yeah, I'd say we should have been at least like 3-0 up, maybe. Like the chances that we had and missed just weren't the best, but you know, Lord Phil.
Do you think you've done enough to? Do you think you've done enough to give yourself a solid base for the next leg on Wednesday?
I'd say so. Yeah, I mean, I can't see us like going there and not scoring.
Yeah.
The fact that we were 2-1 up means that Dortmund have to score, so they're gonna have to attack, which will probably obviously leave more gaps and stuff like that. So I think for Dortmund to go through, they'd probably have to not let us score, which I can't really see happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll go through, to be honest.
Yeah.
But again, we'll see. We'll see how City are in Champions League. I mean, we should go through, but I mean, the other game obviously was Real Madrid and Liverpool. Did we both call Liverpool going through?
I think
I know I did.
I think I said a draw in this game, and I wasn't sure who would go through. It was kind of a 50-50 for me, but after seeing that game, you know, obviously Real Madrid took the game 3-1, pretty dominant, to be honest. They bossed the game pretty much the whole way through. Liverpool, you know, Jurgen Klopp was on it again, blaming the fact that they weren't at a real stadium because they were at a training ground. That's why they lost. So it just gets better and better with Jurgen Klopp and his excuses. But I think at 3-1 down, I think that tie's dead and buried. I don't see. I mean, never write Liverpool off. Obviously, after the whole Barcelona, I literally said to my nan that night, I would put my house on Liverpool not going through. And it's a good job I didn't have a house, because I probably would have put it on it. And yeah, obviously, you know, that famous comeback, but can't see it happening again.
I think the crowd is a big factor for Liverpool as well.
Is there a crowd for the second leg?
No.
No.
So, like, if you look at like the Barcelona game and stuff like that, like, I think like away teams, it's quite like intimidating and stuff like that. So, with there being no crowd, and you know how poor they've been this season at Anfield and stuff like that, I can't see it. I did tip Liverpool to go through, but after that first leg, they'd got absolutely full.
Yeah.
I think after the first half, Liverpool didn't register one shot at all.
Yeah, I think so. Even the goal they scored was a deflection, basically.
Yeah. So, I think Real Madrid had like 10 shots and they had like none. And I was just like, obviously I was watching the Man City game, but
yeah.
He was keeping me updated with the Real Madrid game, and when I checked it at half time, I just thought, oh well, it's even, but Real Madrid took the chances, and then I looked at it and literally didn't have a shot that I thought.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
And another defensive
I didn't expect
calamity
it to go that way.
Nearly cost them another goal as well.
Yeah, I mean, there was that whole talk as well about, you know, how Trent doesn't play for England. Why did he get dropped? That's he can't defend.
Yeah, good going forward, but he can't defend.
He's unreal going like forward, but
Yeah.
he can't defend. I don't see where people say he's the best right back in the world.
He clearly
I'd prefer my right back to defend.
Yeah. I definitely
Like, that's his
agree
job.
with you.
So
we're both agreed that we think that one's out of touch for Liverpool then.
yeah, I would say so. I'd be surprised if Liverpool turn that around, especially with obviously like the foot and stuff like we've just said.
Yeah.
But not for me.
No.
That's
Right.
all done.
So going on to Wednesday's game. So you know, potential big one for City because they could face the winner of this game. Bayern Munich 2, PSG 3. Cracking game, to be honest. Mbappe, brilliant again. But I think that one's quite nicely poised. That 3-2. You know, you'd have to think Bayern Munich with Lewandowski. That could have been even a different score.
Yeah, I think I'll check the stats after that game as well. I think Bayern had like 31 attempts or something like that.
Yeah.
You have to think if like a Lewandowski was in that team,
He's taken
probably
some,
would have scored one too. So,
but apparently will miss the second leg as well. So don't know.
I think they'll do everything humanly possible to try and get him fit for that game.
Yeah, I think that second leg is going to be a cracking game. That might be one that I tune in and watch, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of people saying that that they think that tie's like over with now. It's done. But
how can you say that? I know they've got 3 away goals, but you know it's not beyond the realms for them to expect for them to win by 2 goals. They don't have to. They don't have to score 3. They just have to win 2-0.
I'm not sure. I know they. I referred that to like PSG beat Barcelona in the Nou Camp like 4-1.
Yeah.
Or 4. I can't remember what it was. 4-1 or 4.
I think it was 4-1. Yeah.
And then like the return leg, Barca was all over them in Paris. I don't think PSG had that many attempts at all.
Yeah.
Barcelona was all over, and Barcelona should have won that game very easily.
Yeah,
at least by 3 or 4.
Yeah, there was about 6 or 7 chances for Dembele where he should have done better.
So, and obviously Bayern Munich are a lot better than Barcelona. It's not the Barcelona of old. It's the Barcelona are quite poor now, to be honest. So, if PSG play like that again at home, then Bayern Munich would more than capable to overturn it. So
yeah, it's definitely not over, not in my opinion. But moving on to the last game, Porto 0, Chelsea 2. What was
that?
Oh, excuse me. I would say that game's done as well. I thought Chelsea were the better team, much better team. Had chances to probably score more as well. Yeah, you'd have to think with two away goals as well. That's a pretty solid start for them.
Yeah, I thought Porto would have done better than what they did as well, because they've played quite well this year, like Champions League and stuff.
Yeah.
Chelsea just looked well better.
I think Tuchel's quite well prepared for like European football. I think that's the difference maker there. But yeah, I'd say that game's probably done and dusted, barring some sort of Chelsea collapse.
Agreed.
Right, sweet. That's all that needs to be said on that one. So Europa League results: Arsenal 1, Slavia Prague 1. So Arsenal scored late in that game. I think it was about the 83rd minute, and then typical Arsenal went and conceded an injury time equaliser. So where do you see that game going? Is it just a matter of what Arsenal team shows up?
Yeah, Arsenal should be more than capable.
They should
win that leg over 2 times. Like you say, it depends which one turns. We've seen Arsenal play really well this year, and in the next game, it's almost like West Ham, where they're down in both players.
Yeah.
It literally depends what our team turn up, but I reckon they'll probably.
Yeah, I think they should do. And then the other Europa League tie was Granada versus Manchester United. United 2-0, a lot of the ball, finished their chances. Not entirely sure what happened for the penalty. It looked like the guy threw an elbow at Bruno Fernandes or something, but I didn't see it slowed down or anything, so I'm not entirely sure what happened. But I would say a relatively comfortable United win, and I would expect them to do the same at home in the return leg.
Yeah, I think when I thought United could have got knocked out by Milan.
Yeah.
But I think when they went through against Milan, they were probably my favourites to win.
Yeah.
Obviously the 2-0 now with the first leg, 2 away goals as well. So I would say that ties over as well.
I'd like to hope so.
Be interesting. They've got the winner of Ajax and Roma, haven't they?
I think so, yeah.
And I think, I mean, that's probably their hardest game left.
Yeah. Is
that semi-final, because the other side of the draw is relatively easy, to be honest. But I think the Granada ties over, and I'd probably make favourites going to the semi-final against Ajax or Roma.
Yeah, I know Roma lead that one 2-1.
Yeah, I'd probably say United could probably win that. I think
we could be looking at a Villarreal United final is my prediction. But
so, I mean, could you imagine? Obviously, if United win the Europa League, City win the Champions League, UEFA Super Cup next season.
We've learned not to dream about stuff like that, because every time we think of a derby final, someone spoils it. So
it does.
We can't.
It's happened a few times now, to be honest. But
yes.
It's nice to possibly look forward to something like that. I think really.
Yeah, I get that.
There's a lot of what's the word? I forgot the word for it, but there's someone threw up a stat on Twitter before regarding Chelsea Champions League, saying, the last time they won it, they sacked the manager halfway through the season.
Oh, I hate
They
when
also
people
lost
do
at home
this.
to West Brom that season and fucking whatnot.
Did we not get the same thing for Liverpool a couple of months ago off Jamie Carragher?
Yeah, I said we've heard the same thing off Liverpool and stuff like that. Then you've got like our side of the draw where it's like, oh, Pep would come up against Bayern Munich in the semis and against his former club and all that. It's just,
it's a lot of what ifs and shit, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting though.
It is interesting.
As I say, hopefully the plan all comes together.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential storylines, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right. On to the weekend fixtures then. So the early kick-off on Saturday, we've got Man City taking on Leeds. So I know Leeds have given some teams some good games, but realistically they've been relatively disappointing this season. I think City win that one easily.
Yeah, I'd say so as well. I don't want to put my neck on the line, but fuck it. But
yeah,
I think City will score at least 4 in that game. Leeds don't really adapt to like a team. They've literally got one way of playing.
Yeah, it's all about attack, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll try and win the game. It's all about attack. Like they don't, like they did at Old Trafford. Like they didn't change. They just thought like we play this way, so we're just going to do it. So I think that's
a great way to play against the team. Yeah, but you've got to kind of admire it in a way. We've got our way of playing, and we're not going to change that just because we're against the best team in the league. Like they're endeavouring for that system to be what City's system is at the moment, the one that everyone wants to be successful with. They're like trying to build their own version of that. So I kind of respect that in a way, and it's entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather play against Leeds like that than say like we're at home against like West Brom.
Yeah.
If we're going to play like six defenders, like 3 midfielders in front of the 6, and then stick one forward up front and try and play for the draw.
Yeah.
So I mean, where are they? 10th, are they?
I did have a look just before, but I think I've closed the tab.
They're around that mark though, aren't they?
They're at the mid-table, yeah. I think it's them and Arsenal, like 10th, 11th, I think.
Yeah, so it's working for a minute, so fair play.
It's keeping them up, yeah. So on to the potential watch-along this weekend, if we're available. Spurs versus Man United on Sunday. Could be a big game. More so for Spurs, I would say, because obviously we've got that 4-point cushion to Leicester, and then obviously Leicester have got a 4-point cushion to 4th. So in theory, United are 9 points away from dropping out the top 4, but Spurs, I believe, are in 6th place and could take over both 4th and 5th with a win. So that could be a huge game. Also considering the fact that West Ham and Leicester play this week. I think also on Sunday, so there's points to be gained on one of them as well.
Yeah, and obviously Liverpool are in that top 4 race, and they play Aston Villa at home.
Yeah,
who got dick 7-2 away.
Yes,
and obviously they don't play that well at Anfield, so that game will be interesting. That game's on Saturday.
I think that is Saturday, yeah.
So that game will be interesting. There's a lot of good games this week.
Yeah, I did have a quick look before, and there could be some decent movement in the top 4 and not so much in the bottom, but it could become a bit clearer where teams are going to end up in the bottom half. I'm trying to put that list together of those last couple of games just so we can have a little look through for next time and see who we think might come out on top in this race. But yeah, it's definitely heating up, and as we've said, it could always go down to the last day, which is always exciting.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah. I actually fancy Spurs to get a result against United.
Yeah, United typically just don't do great against Spurs, and I think Mourinho's got quite a good read on United as well. So yeah, could be an interesting. To be honest, we're saying it's a potential watch-along game. I can see it being a bit of a boring game, but when isn't it? When we watch along, so
Potentially could be a shocking game. I mean, I'm going to hold a little bit of faith and say the last time, obviously, United Spurs played was on the same weekend as Liverpool and Aston Villa. And those games were back to back.
yeah.
One ended 7-2 and one ended 6-1.
Yeah, so
let's just have a bit of faith that it could be a
great
goals
game.
galore.
Well, can I just say, from my point of view, if it is 6-1, can it please be 6-1 to United? That's all I'm asking. I don't want nothing else.
You don't want to lose 6-1 twice to the same team.
No, I do not.
No, but I do fancy Spurs though. Probably like a 2-1.
Yeah. Throwing things up on my screen. Ignore that. I could see that happening. I feel like Harry Kane could cause us some problems, as he's very capable of. But I don't know. I just feel like with our defence, sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. I can just see them having a stinker, to be honest.
Sure, as I say, I'm got my fingers crossed for an half decent game. So
yeah, and then West Ham Leicester probably could be a decent game as well. I'm not entirely sure which way that one will go.
I think Leicester are either really good or really. There's no in between. They're a bit like United, really. They're either really good or they're really shit.
Yeah.
So yes, it will be quite interesting. I know they've still got a few of the decent players out as well.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look at the league table. So they're like 4 points above West Ham, 5 points above Chelsea.
Yeah.
So if, let's say, Leicester could really have that breathing space if they beat West Ham. So I can't believe I'm talking about West Ham far into the season
with top 4 aspirations. What would be ideal for United, I suppose, is if United win and Leicester lose, we'd then be 7 points away from. I think 7 points away from 3rd place. And yeah, you'd almost expect them with what seven games after that we shouldn't drop 7 points, really, should we?
No, not really. I can't see the subject changing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now's the end of the season. I can't really. I don't think Leicester or the next team below them, West Ham, will win like.
Oh, they'd have to win every game.
All the games, yeah. So I think Chelsea are too far off United.
Yeah, Chelsea are 9 points off.
Yeah, let's say there's United have played 30 games. So there's 8 games there, so 9 points each week. So like every team, I think would have to win like all the last 8 games to have a chance of overtaking. I don't see the top 2 changing.
No, I tend to agree with you there, to be honest. Right. Then to round off this episode, we've got UFC Fight Night Vettori versus Holland. Originally Vettori versus Till, but a broken collarbone ruined that one. So we've got Vettori with a 16-4-1 record, Holland with a 21-6 record. We've got so Vettori is on a 4-fight winning streak. The loss before that was a split decision loss to Israel Adesanya. This will be his 10th UFC fight. He's got a 6-2-1 record in the UFC. Never been finished, and he's coming off. His last fight was a fight of the night performance versus Jack Manson. And then we've got Holland, obviously lost his last fight to Derek Brunson. Will tie the record with Davidson Figueiredo and Michael Bisping for the fastest turnaround between UFC main events at 21 days. Before the loss, he'd racked up 5 wins in 2020, which was tied for the most wins in a calendar year with Roger Huerta and Neil Magny. 4 of them wins coming by knockout. Holland's been in the UFC since 2018 when he won a contract on Dana White's Contender Series. And fun fact, he lost his first ever UFC fight to Thiago Santos. And in his 11 UFC bouts, he is currently 8-3. So, what do we think about this one?
you'd have to go with Vittori, wouldn't you, to win?
Yeah, it could be interesting though. I don't think Vittori.
He'd have to be. Holland would have to be. Sorry, Holland would have to be a lot better than he was against Brunson.
I think striking wise, because I feel this one's going to be a lot more of a striking match than a wrestling match, which was where Brunson had Holland. Holland would have quite easily outstruck him, I feel like. So considering these two like to strike a bit, and Holland definitely has the more victories by knockout. I think Vittori, the majority of his wins are by decision, to be honest. He tends to grind out his fights, and then when Holland gets finished, it tends to be by submission. Don't think he's ever been knocked out, so I don't know if it's a striking fight, and I think I tend to lean towards Holland, to be honest.
Is that a little secret?
Cool.
Vittori wins by knockout.
How does he? Have you seen the future, Niall?
This is a exclusive.
No. I feel like some sort of red
At
bar
first-
should flash up here.
It should. It really should. This is the first ever NGTV breaking news. Vittori will 100% win by knockout.
Okay, fair enough. We've got. So we're sat on opposite sides of the fence for that one.
Yeah, I've stuck my neck right out there.
You really have.
So-
I tell you what, that card's got some other really good fights on it as well. Like, not to like dive deep into them, but always fun to watch Mike Perry fight. You know, and I can never remember the guy's name because I've just completely forgotten. But there's the Nigerian dude on the main card as well. Is always a fun guy to watch. Can't feel like I remember his
it's
name right now.
interesting if Mike Perry actually makes weight.
Well, yeah. Good fighting. The guy he's fighting as well, Rodriguez, is a hell of a fighter as well. I think he's come off Dana White's Contender Series as well. So, I mean, he's had a couple of UFC fights since, but I think he is a Contender Series alum.
There's some interesting fights on there, like, definitely.
Yeah, there's definitely some
Oh,
good fights,
okay.
some good fights that I'm looking forward to watching. Obviously, we've had a weekend without UFC, so it'd be nice to get back to some UFC. And then, obviously, I believe it's the weekend after we've got the next big card, Usman Masvidal. And then a quick mention to the Diaz Edwards one. They sold 21,000 tickets within a matter of minutes into the sold out. So, you know, good to see the crowds return to the UFC.
And also next week is Jake Paul v Ben Askren.
So it is, yeah. So Thursday's episode next week, or Friday's episode, but we tend to record sometimes on a Thursday, should be quite a nice one to talk through all those fights.
I just want to mention as well, when we're on the topic of UFC, I watched Masvidal's interview with Ariel One.
Is this the one where he's,
catch it?
is this the one where he was talking about Colby Covington?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did catch it, yeah.
Just once was on the Jake Paul Ben Askren part. He was. I know he's kind of been like helping Jake Paul and that. He kind of disagreed with him when he said, obviously he's been saying that Ben Askren's representing MMA.
Yeah, yeah.
And Masvidal was like that. He was
That's
going,
not true.
that dude isn't representing like MMA. He said he can't strike. So he said we won't send anyone like that over to represent like our sport.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. I thought, obviously, because he's been training with Jake Paul and stuff like that.
You'd expect him to stand up for him, yeah.
Yeah, maybe he would have stuck up for him, but he kind of shot him down a little bit and said, like, he's definitely not.
Yeah, he's like he represents wrestling, not MMA.
Yeah.
Although he calls it crotch sniffing.
Yeah, they spoke about like the Usman fight and stuff like that, didn't they? He was basically saying like he was there to like fight on 6 days notice, and Usman just wanted to put a leg, grab him and smell his crotch and stuff. So I was like, He said he wasn't impressed with his win over Burns either. He said he doesn't think he's improved or anything like that.
He definitely got rocked in that fight.
Yeah, he said he reckons he still thinks that Usman will try and wrestle him again.
I mean, if he does, I don't see Masvidal doing anything about it, because Usman's probably one of the best wrestlers in that division, if not the best.
Yeah, I can see it being like, it's going to be an interesting fight. Maybe Usman wants to try and knock him out or try and stand to like prove something.
Yeah.
Or he could probably just do the smart thing and just try and wrestle.
He could. It's going to be quite interesting. It could be a boring fight because he could literally just do that to him, like. But it's interesting if we can see what type of adjustments Masvidal's made to stop him from doing that on a full camp. Because he obviously claimed that was the issue last time. So, if and it won't be the whole thing of like, because last time Masvidal even himself said I've probably got 3 good rounds and then I'm gassed. Like the last 2 rounds I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
So, now that's not a tactic where you just hold him down for 3 rounds, wear him out, and then hope that you finish him in the 4th and 5th. Like, I wonder if he'll go with a different game plan.
I mean, I want it to be an interesting fight. I don't want it just to be like just grappling fight.
Yeah. But again, that's a discussion for next Thursday's episode.
Yeah.
Before it happens. I think it's next Thursday anyway. I think it's next Saturday, isn't it? 17th, something like that. We'll check anyway. Yeah, but yeah, that's everything I've got to cover. Don't know if you've got anything else that you want to cover.
No, I think we spoke about it briefly before this podcast, but I was saying that I checked Tyson Fury's Twitter feed and seen that he put days TikTok, which was yesterday, so it's 2 days, so that makes it up till Monday.
So I guess we might have some news about that on Monday.
Fingers crossed. I think he's obviously speaking about what we spoke about previously, saying that they had like 30 days to find a venue and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing there's only 3 days left, now 2 days left, so hopefully we hear something, hopefully like Sunday, Monday or something.
Let's hope so. Then we can cover it in Monday's episode.
Right. Yeah, and then that's probably the only thing to look out for really for the boxing side.
Yeah.
Nothing major anyway, really happening.
Yeah, so, right, well, that's everything we've got to cover. Then we will do the traditional like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified when videos go live, and then check the what's going on there now. Check the description for Twitter and Twitch, where we live stream occasionally. Hopefully get some more live streams done this week, and I think that's everything. Sweet.
Nice, man.
Right, thanks, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.